H.R. 954, and I thank the gentleman from Illinois for yielding me the time and for his work on this bill, as well as Chairman Bishop's work on this legislation and those on the other side of the aisle. This bill simply removes 20-year-old deed use restrictions on 1 acre of land in Rockingham County, Virginia. For over 25 years, a little over 3 acres of land and its associated buildings previously held by the federal government have been maintained by Rockingham County and the Plains Area Daycare Center in the 6th District of Virginia. In 1989, the federal government deeded these 3 acres of land with restriction to Rockingham County. However, even prior to this official declaration, Rockingham County had already been faithfully maintaining the property no longer utilized by the federal government. The government transferred this land to Rockingham County in 1989 under the condition that this property was to be used for public purposes. The county then decided that the nonprofit Plains Area Daycare Center in Broadway, Virginia, which provides child care on a sliding scale to many families who otherwise could not afford such a service, would benefit from the use of the old garage located on the property. Therefore, in 1990, Congress enacted Public Law 101-479, which allowed the deed to be changed from public use to the particular use of the child care center. Donations by the community totaling $75,000 turned the building into a nursery, daycare, and after-school care facility. Additionally, the establishment of the daycare center provided for the creation of a playground that the center supports and opens for public use. To be clear, the center and the playground are the sole reasons this previously abandoned government land is being used by the community. I have visited the Plains Area Daycare Center on many occasions and have seen the immeasurable investment this center is making in the community by providing high-quality child care. Since opening in 1991, the center has always been at capacity and is the only facility of its kind in the community. However, after 2 decades of consistent use, the facility is in desperate need of repairs. Unfortunately, because of the narrow way Public Law 101-479 was drafted, and because of the terms of the deed, the daycare center has been unable to obtain a loan to complete much-needed renovations. To solve this problem, my legislation would remove the deed's use restrictions from the 1 acre of property on which the building resides. While I would like to have seen the entire 3 acres released, this legislation is the result of a compromise that has been endorsed by the National Park Service and Rockingham County. By passing this legislation and allowing Rockingham County, and in turn the Plains Area Daycare Center, more authority over the land, we will ensure that more children and more of the community will be served. Mr. Speaker, while my legislation today is simply a formality, it is of great importance to those being served by this daycare center in the community. For 25 years, the land has been deeded to Rockingham County, but with overbearing restrictions. Since it is clear the federal government no longer has a vested interest in the land, it is time to lift those restrictions to allow the Plains Area Daycare Center to reach its full potential. 20 years ago, Congress made its intention clear that a daycare facility was to have use of the property, and I am pleased to lead the charge in fixing the law. Again, I thank Chairman Bishop and his committee for bringing this bill before the House. I also thank my legislative assistant, Angela Inglet, for her hard work on this legislation, and I urge passage of H.R. 954 to simply remove the deed restrictions on 1 acre of land so that the necessary upgrades may be made to the child care center and this community investment may continue. And I yield back.
Gentleman yields. From Illinois.